I'm Andy Taylor and I'm playing Wilfred Shadbolt. He is the head jailer and the assistant tormentor. He's actually one of the comedy characters within Yeomen of the Guard, and he's a likeable idiot, really. He's quite unpleasant as well, in the sense that you'd probably think that if you saw him in the street, you'd probably want to cross the road, and you probably start scratching yourself because he doesn't appear very clean. And he's trying to gain the affections of one of the other comedy characters, Phoebe, who is, of course, in love with somebody else. It all works out in the end, although not quite in the way you think it might.
My name is Russell Stratton. I'm playing Colonel Fairfax, and my character is he's a soldier. He's a charmer. He's also probably a bit of a brute, not always not the nicest piece of work. I think he enjoys having fun at other people's expense. Many of the characters come off somewhat the worse because Fairfax enjoys playing with them. And I think that's probably the nicest way of putting it.
My name is Sue ONeill and I am playing the part of Dame Carruthers, who is the housekeeper of the tower. And she was born in the tower and has lived there all her life, and she's very, very passionate about the tower. It's part of her life, it's part of her lifeblood. And for all of her life, she's actually had a fancy for Sergeant Merrill, who she would dearly love to marry, but of course he will have none of it.
My name is Millie Stevens.
And who are you playing?
I'm playing Kate, which is the niece of Dame Carruthers. She's not the cleverest of the characters. She doesn't really know what's going on all the time. So she depends on her aunt to let her know what's going on.
My name is Emma Stratton and I'm playing the part of Phoebe Merrill. And Phoebe is she's a very mischievous character. She's quite immature in the way she behaves, but she's also quite conniving and she can get her own way. She has Wilfred wrapped around her finger, and she's quite a fun part, very funny, but there's also a lot of pathos, particularly at the end of the show, which is really nice to play.
My name is Bunting and I'm playing Elsie Maynard, who is a strolling player, so she goes around the place singing and playing brief interludes for the amusements of the masses. I'm going around with Jack Point, who's another strolling player, and we're sort of travelling together to look after my mother, who's a bit ill. And along the way I meet various people, including Leonard, who I fall in love with, and it's kind of, I see it as a love story between her and him, but to outsiders it might not be as simple as that.
My name is Gareth Edwards and I'm playing the part of Jack Point.
So tell me a little about Jack.
So Jack Point is a jester who strolls around with Elsie Maynard. Goes from different town to town, entertaining them and trying to make a living. And he finds himself in the Tower of London, entertaining the people, and finds himself in a spot of bother